Hi guys, Emma here, also known as 8 Vinyl Low, bringing you guys another video. Today's video is going to be a contest entry, and I'm pretty sure this is going up extremely late to the, or not extremely late, extremely close to the deadline, but I think I just made it, so yay. I'm very much a procrastinator. That is one of my horrible weaknesses. I love to wait till the last minute to get things done, but I end up getting them done most of the time. So yeah, so this is going to be a contest entry. This is going to be a contest entry for Marichen. She is starting to get involved in contests in the vinyl community, uploading contests. She made a video for mine, my 100 subs contest, and I wanted to make sure that I got an entry in for hers. So if you're not familiar with Marichen and her channel, I am going to link her channel below. Make sure to go give her some love, and maybe if this video comes up and you want to make an entry for her contest, even though that deadline is like tomorrow or something, I think it's tomorrow, then get one up really fast. But basically her contest is very simple. What she wanted you to do is, obviously you have to be subscribed to her, and you have to upload a video where you talk about 5 albums that shaped your music taste. And I thought it was extremely interesting, so I definitely wanted to make sure that I participated. So with that, I'm just going to get right to it and start talking about 5 albums that shaped my music taste. First and foremost here, I'm going to show a CD this time. Very rarely do I do this, but unfortunately this is the only way to show this album. This is Cheap Trick's 1997 self-titled, and in my opinion this is an album that really helped Cheap Trick make a comeback in the music world. They had put out some albums in the late 80s and early 90s that, although I enjoy, because I might be biased, but I recognize they're not the strongest albums from Cheap Trick. A lot of people did not like them. 80s, late 80s, early 90s. And this album came out in 1997, and although it wasn't as commercially successful as it should have been, and it had to do with the label issues and all that, I won't get into it. For fans and for people that love Cheap Trick, this definitely was a comeback for them. This was actually one of the first albums that I ever heard from Cheap Trick, and you guys know where I'm at now, so definitely an album that shaped my music taste because it introduced me to my favorite band of all time. And I thought it'd be great to show because this is the album that brought me my channel name. As you guys know, my channel name is 8 Vinyl Low, and there's a song on here which is how I came up with the name, and it's called, I don't know if you can see it, but it is track 10 on here, and it's called 8 Miles Low. And Rick Nielsen wrote that song. He's the guitarist of Cheap Trick, and obviously pulled that from the Byrds' 8 Miles High. So this is where I got my channel name. This is what really got me into Cheap Trick. Now they're my favorite band, and they always will be. So, but unfortunately this has never been released on vinyl. I am so hoping one day they put this on wax, because I just love it so much, and I would love to be able to listen to it on vinyl. So maybe a record store day release or something. I think it'd be super cool. So, showing Cheap Trick 1997, first album that shaped my music taste. Alright, second album that shaped my music taste, and I've talked about this before, but this is the Ides of March, and this is their most well-known album, Vehicle. And obviously this band is known for the title track, Vehicle, on this record. And How this shaped my music taste is that this band, the Ides of March, and then obviously I picked this album because it's the most well-known. This band is the reason why I love music so much. I've shared this story so many times, but I'll kind of do a condensed version here. The founder of this band, one of the four founders of the band, his name is Jim Peterick. He also might sound familiar because he did work with Survivor, and he's done work with 38 Special and a bunch of other bands and musicians. He's even done stuff with Cheap Trick. But I am a huge fan of Jim Peterick and the Ides of March for this reason. When I was very, very young, my dad took me to, and I've been to a few concerts before. I was at, I was going to see bands that, a fourth grader would listen to, or a third grader, a fourth grader would listen to. I was going to see shows like Kids Bop, probably, I don't know, something like that. And my dad one day, Ides of March, he loves that band, and he saw them before, and they played Eye of the Tiger, which is a Survivor song and whatnot, and he wanted to go take me and introduce me to them. And they were playing at a very close theater near our house, so, that's just what we did on a Saturday night, I think. And I actually fell asleep during the beginning of that performance, the first time I saw the Ides of March. I fell asleep. But I woke up when they started playing Eye of the Tiger. Again, that is a Survivor song, but they play it because Jim Peterick from the Ides of March co-wrote that song. And it was just a crazy experience. I've never seen anything like it. Jim Peterick has this, fire flame silver mirror guitar that he plays during that song, or at least did. And he was walking in the aisles and interacting with fans and throwing guitar picks, and I had never seen anything like that. And it was Eye of the Tiger, and I knew that song, and I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world. So after that show, we met the band, super cool guys, and I was hooked. Jim Peterick threw me my first guitar pick. I wanted to see them every weekend. We went to festivals and shows and fairs that they were playing at all over. And for probably 3 or 4 summers straight, that's all we did. Go see the Ides of March, go see the Ides of March. It got to a point where I actually was interacting with the band, and I knew the members pretty well, and they knew me, and it was just super cool. It was some of the great summers of my life, and I will never forget it. So, the Ides of March, and then after I got really into them, I started listening to other bands, and the rest is history. Now I'm here. So, the Ides of March, and this is Vehicle. What a soft spot in my heart for this band. So, there's that. Moving right along here, this is the third album that shaped my music taste. This is my favorites. My favorite albums of every band change all the time, but right now, and for the most part, this is my favorite Billy Joel album. This is his album Turnstiles. It has one of my favorite songs on here, which is Summer Highland Falls. Beautiful song. And for a really, really long time, and I still am, I'm obsessed with Billy Joel. I love his music. He's one of my favorite songwriters. He might be my favorite songwriter of all time, but one of my favorite musicians of all time. And I was hooked. I mean, obsessed. Cheap Trick's my favorite band, but for a long time I was obsessed with Billy Joel and his music. I couldn't believe when I was getting into his discography and listening to just everything that he's written and put out there. I mean, the songwriting is, like I said, I think he's, in my opinion, one of the best songwriters of all time. And so this definitely shaped my music taste, Billy Joel did, in the sense of how I listen to songwriting, how I listen to lyrics, how I appreciate really good songwriting, and how I kind of turn away from crappy lyrics and crappy songs in that sense. But yeah, I think that's how I can pinpoint him making a dent in my music taste, in the sense that I just appreciate the art of songwriting more. I can't do it. I can't write songs like that, so that's number 3. Moving right along here, number 4. This is a record store day release from this year I'm going to show you guys. But Green Day. This is Green Day live at Woodstock 1994. But I have to put Green Day in there. They definitely shaped my music taste. This is bringing me back to high school. Ever since I saw the Ides of March when I was little, like I said, I've gotten so into music, so into classic rock and all that stuff. But I also like listening to, you know, some different type of music, especially in the 90s when we talk about Green Day, or we talk about Nirvana, or maybe moving later on and, you know, kind of modern bands like the Foo Fighters, Blink-182, stuff like that. But what really got me into that kind of stuff, modern music in a sense, is Green Day. And I've seen them live before. I saw them in concert finally a couple years ago. What an amazing experience. But this definitely reminds me of my middle school years so much, listening to Dookie and American Idiot on replay, those records. So Green Day got me through middle school, got me through high school probably too, so yeah. Definitely shaped my music taste there. And last but not least, something that I've really been exploring as of recently, probably the last couple of years, year and a half. Had to throw in the Bluesbreakers with Eric Clapton, John Mayall. And as you guys know, kind of, I've talked about it so much on this channel, I am just digging into British blues right now. I've always had a soft spot for blues, and it might be because I'm from around the Chicagoland area. But British blues in particular, I've been so interested in, so fascinated in, and just really digging deep in there. And I think it all comes down to the godfather of British blues here, John Mayall. So I had to show this to show my appreciation for British blues, and of course, you gotta throw in the Godfather there, so pick that. Anyway, those are my 5 albums that shaped my music taste. I had a lot of fun kind of digging through stuff and thinking about this contest, so thank you so much, Marichen, for putting this together. And like I said, I'm sorry this entry came a little later, but I think I made it. So that's all I have for you guys for today. I hope you have a great weekend wherever you are, and I'll see you guys for my next video. Bye.